Okay, we are on. Miss Barbara Wainwright, absolute honor to have you here and to be honored to be in front of all of your folks. How's it going?
Well, thank you so much, Karl. It's a privilege to be here with you, and I'm so proud of my community and excited that they recognize that this is a great opportunity not only to learn a lot of information here today. I know that I was in the first session, so I know what they have coming. And so you're going to be learning a lot. I'm so happy for you for that. And then, I hope you can see the opportunity that's going to be presented to you and how incredible it is, because what Karl has put together is a coach's dream, and it's something that I had been searching and searching and searching for my community. And when I met Karl and I discovered everything that he had built and had spent years creating, I was so impressed. I couldn't wait to share it with you all. So thank you, Karl, for everything that you're about to share with everyone and everything you've done up to now to create this incredible package and opportunity for people that really need it, which is my coaching community. So thank you.
Awesome. No, look, thank you. And you might have heard earlier, I'm not sure if you were on yet, but I really, when I went man, the myth, the legend, I meant to go the woman, the myth, the legend. But anyway, but that's truly from my heart. Hearing you say that, I really do. I super duper appreciate it. And I'll tell you what do you think? Any parting words here? Do you want me to get straight into it? What do you think?
Oh, I don't know if that's my audio that I just lost, but I just lost you for a second there, Karl.
Okay, anything you wanted to say here before I was going to put you on mute. If you want to say anything, obviously, over the course of the hour and a half here, just chime in with a hand up. But what do you think? Are we all good to go?
Yeah, I think this is great. I'm super excited for everybody to learn so much. The presentation is phenomenal. You have so much to learn here, so I hope you have a paper and pen ready to take notes. And once you get through that part, I look forward to meeting you on the other side of this, because I'm absolutely 100% in and on board, and I would love to see you join us. Okay, that's me, Karl.
You legend. Thank you so much, Barbara. You're a champ. Okay, I'm going to put you back on mute. There we go. Okay, folks, so look, thank you so much. Awesome to have Barbara here to say hello. Look, guys, nuts and bolts of it, how I built a $5.5 million coaching company. Real quick, how would you like to never have to worry about running out of money in retirement ever? Would that be pretty cool? Hand up. No doubt all the hands are about to go. Well, look, guys, let me introduce you to a man you've probably heard of called Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett would be the most highest paid business consultant in the world. He invests his time and his money with business owners that he can influence. And if he can't influence them, that he doesn't spend his time and his money with them. That's simple, okay? And what do you think a business consultant does? The exact same thing. Here's some slightly even better news. Warren Buffett, at the age of 50, in his own world, he was big news, but on this kind of webinar, we'd never be referencing his name, and no one would ever, for the most part, know who he was, right? Well, now, at the ripe old age of 86, or he might be even 87 now, basically he's a rock star, signing autographs, writing books, and everywhere he goes, there's a lineup of people to just touch him, right? Well, you show me another industry where you can go from the age of 50 to 86 and become, basically a rock star in your space. For the most part, you're going to struggle to find one, and the good news is you're amongst one. And what we're talking about here is basically becoming a business coach. And I know some of you guys are life coaches and relationship coaches and that sort of thing, which is totally fine, and there's a lot here for you, no question. But what I have found, like, let's say if I'm a relationship coach and you come on as my client, once I get you the date, and once I find you your one and only, and once I find you your hubby or your wife, doesn't our relationship end and I got to go find a new client? So really, if you think about it, success ends your relationship. If you're a career coach, it's a bit the same. And, I all of a sudden get the career and it's bye-bye time. Whereas if you were to come to me and forget coaching, it was just any industry, and you can imagine, I'll talk about myself here in a little bit, very quickly, but I've been doing this a long time, and I guess get asked time and time again, Karl, if, you were going to start a business, or I'm about to start a business, is this a good idea? The first words that will come out of my mouth, whether you're related to me, I've never met you before, if we're sitting beside each other on a plane, I'm going to show me the recurring income. And if you can't show me the recurring income, I'm going to tell you that it's a bad business to get into, because the reality is that you get sick or you have, the month of December, you're not making any sales. So as a relationship or a career coach, as a rule, and there are some exceptions here to be clear, as sweeping generalizations, but for the most part, you want recurring income. Well, when you're a business coach and you go to small business owners, you do a good job. Look, not only do they stick around, but they won't let you leave. Okay, again, think of my Warren Buffett example. I mean, if you provide value and you are there and you are the strength, I mean, Tony Robbins 101, these people will never let you go. Tony Robbins listen to his interviews and whatnot. He talks about one of his clients, I'm trying to think of his name, it escapes me now, but the client's been paying him $1 million a year for over a couple of decades. He won't let him go. In other words, you do a good job, you will keep these clients for months and months, years and years. I've had clients on a month-to-month agreement for over 8 years. Currently, this month, the check will go through, okay? And I have royalty and contingency deals where every month thousands of dollars hit my bank account. I don't lift a finger. I don't do anything, and possibly that money comes from money that effort that I have put in the past, and these guys are still reaping the rewards, so I still continue to get paid from particular clients. So with that being said, what I'm here to talk about, we're going to show you how to drive a whole lot of traffic and bring a whole lot of small business owners into you, notwithstanding how to help those folks, right? So the name of the webinar, How I Built a $5.5 million Coaching Company. You'll see my little statement there, motivate an idiot, they do stupid things quicker. Don't mean to be crass and over the top, but what I'm trying to get at here, guys, is that it's not a good idea. Like your client, I don't need to meet them to know that they think that having more products and more services is a good idea, and then at the first sign of any kind of trials and tribulations, they lower their prices. All your clients, like 90% of them, that's what they're doing instinctively, and that's the exact opposite of what they should be doing. So you don't want to motivate somebody that's just going in the wrong direction. You got to do a U-turn. You got to turn these guys around, and this is frankly why we want business coaches, and we need business coaches and capable ones. Real quick, a 101 about me, and again, I'm not the kind of guy to sit here and talk about myself, nor read a textbook and then anoint myself an expert. I just want you to feel comfortable. Barbara and I have known each other for a long time. Truly from my heart, she's a very, very, very special woman. And those of you that have been trained by her, you don't need me to tell you that, but I'm telling you, she is a very special person in this space. I've been following her for a very, very long time from afar. So I'm honored to be here, and she wouldn't have me here if I didn't know what I was talking about. But again, you guys are going to know in an hour and a half. Okay, but I sold $10 million in my own businesses. I've franchised my own company. I've helped others license and franchise. Just basically, I built 3 7-figure coaching companies from a standing start. Have a background in hockey. You'll see me there playing for Team Canada. And ironically, I love this photo because if you look at me there, I'm staring down at the puck. Okay, if you know anything about hockey, it's a very bad thing. It's like, imagine a guy, LeBron James, dribbling the ball down the court, staring at the basketball. Probably not going to happen. So, bit of a classic photo. But anywho, so guys, I got a lot of information, a lot of stuff. But let me just tell you this. My real story comes from my big brother committed suicide when I was 16 years old over business failing. Right. So really what that did is launched a young man on a mission that really, I just wanted that to, bring some meaning to that. And notwithstanding, I really wanted to live for 2. So I kind of wake up pretty early and try to go to bed pretty late at night to, get as much as possible as I can out of my life. But also I believe, the greatest gift that you can give as a business owner, greatest gift you can give to yourself is to grow and contribute. And when you're able to do that for business owners, the rewards can come back, in financial terms, pretty thick, pretty fast, and provide some pretty awesome abundance for yourself. So that's kind of how I got started with my big bro. And if you were to give me, I get asked again a question in and around this, Karl, if you had 15 minutes with your big brother, or if you had 15 minutes with a business owner, what is it that you would say and do? How would you help this individual? Okay. Well, I would answer that this way. I got 15 minutes with my big bro, and we're going to talk about business. It would be, Rick, his name's Rick. Rick, What you got to do is you got to make small incremental changes in multiple areas of your business. That's where the magic is. Whereas most people are trying to reinvent the wheel, do something really impressive, change everything, bring in the new products, bring in the new services, hire all the new staff, which some of that is right, some of that is wrong, some of that is a great idea. But for the most part, that is not where we start. You want to become ridiculously more profitable than where you are right now. You want your client to become ridiculously more profitable than they are right now and not have to reinvent the wheel and revolutionize things and kind of really expand their current skill set. This is what I would do. Small incremental changes in multiple areas of their business. And you'll see we've got a 5-step formula here. In our proper program, we actually have 7 steps, but just for the interest of I only have an hour and a half, and just what we're doing here, I want to make this as simple as possible. So we've got 5 steps here. Very quickly, I'm going to rip through them. Step number 1 is lead generation. Pretty straightforward here. You can see I got 1,000 in my baseline example. These are cold calls. These are inbound calls. These are inquiries off the website. These are referrals, okay? Real straightforward, step number 1. Step number 2 is conversion. Of those phone calls, emails, and referrals, how many people sign the paperwork, hand over a credit card? Okay, and in my example, you'll see I've got 25%. By the way, if you sit with the average business owner, they will sprout out numbers like clockwork. Oh, my conversions are 75, my conversions are 80. I have heard many a times my conversion is 100%. When you really break down those numbers, you're going to find that they're nowhere near 80% conversion on average. Some of them are, but that's absolute, the anomaly. You're going to find they're significantly less than they assume, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is we're going to do the numbers with the business owner, and you're going to find what their conversion rate is. And in my baseline example, I've got 25%. My online system, we're going to talk a little bit about this today, has 56 different strategies around conversion. So like one of 56 would be a money-back guarantee. Right, so let's just use at the end of the day, let's just say we're coaches, we're business coaches, we're small business owners as well. So we can use the exact same system that our clients can. So a money back guarantee would be an example of one of 56. If you're selling coaching and you offer a money back guarantee, like you go to close and you say, look, it's $2,000 a month. And by the way, it's a money back guarantee. It's hard not to improve your conversions. You might get ripped off a few times over the course of 12 months. But realistically, if you get 10 clients you wouldn't have otherwise got, and then 3 people kind of stewed you or, you feel like you were done the wrong thing by, at the end of the day, if you really do the math, you're going to be +7, and you'll take those numbers and go with them every day of the week. Once you become a slightly more accomplished coach and your pipeline's filled and you get a lot of clients, then it's time you don't need the money back guarantee because quite frankly, you're now doing the opposite and you're gauging these people to make sure that their psychology is right, their skill set is right, and that these are going to be clients that are going to stay for many a years, absolutely many of months, not be one of those things where they realize that it's a whole lot of work and then drop off. And let's face it, those guys are out there. For me, you, and everybody else. This is not unique to any one individual. You don't lose a coaching client in 2 months because they get too busy because you're a bad coach. It's just some people this is just the way it's going to be, and you could have Tony Robbins coaching them and it would be the same thing and same result, okay? So step number 2, money back guarantee. Another example of the 56 strategies to increase conversions would be like a puppy dog close. In fact, I got a great example. My wife, one of her best friends is a professional artist. So she's over at my house, she's drinking red wine with my wife, and she looks up at the wall. She's like, oh my gosh, I have got a painting that would look so amazing on that wall. You would never believe it. Look, it's just sitting there in storage. If you guys want, I'll bring it over free of charge, and I'll put it up on the wall, and you guys can enjoy it. I don't have a trade show for 45 days, so we'll just put it up there and go. Okay, well, she comes over the next day, and by the way, she doesn't bring one painting, she brings 2, right, because one couldn't live without the other. Didn't realize that, but that's the way it went down. And she had a hammer and nails, and this is when I knew I was in a little bit of trouble, right, like she might have done this before. Well, painting goes up, in fact, 2 paintings go up, and frankly, they look lights out. They were amazing. She's an amazing artist. Well, 40-odd days later, it's time to come pick them up, and she's got to shuffle them off to the trade show because you need to sell them. She's got to feed her kids and put food on the table and that sort of stuff, right? Well, I'll let you guys guess where the money is, and I'll let you guess where the paintings are, okay? And yes, you guessed correctly. The paintings are on the wall to this day, and the money is not, is not in the bank account, it's in hers, right? So puppy dog close. What does that mean to you guys? As a coaching client, what you could do is you could do coaching for free for the first 3 weeks and then close them on the 4th week instead of on week 1. If you're not a great salesperson, you're a great coach, that could be a great strategy for you and make things a whole lot easier for you to sell. Okay, so lots more where that came from, but that's what our online platform does, and that's the kinds of things that you'd be doing when you're helping these small business owners. Step number 3, transactions. Look, when you go to McDonald's and you order a burger and a Coke and they say, do you want fries with that? That would be an example of step number 3, okay? If you're helping a client and they sell swimming pools for a living, and then they say, hey, do you want a diving board, a slide, and outdoor change rooms with that? That would be an example of step number 3, okay? And all of your clients, and frankly, you guys need to have these things as well. We'll talk about that. Step number 4, average sale value. Okay, so let's go to the swimming pool. Like the swimming pool, instead of, let's say the swimming pool is $50,000, could be 30, could be 80, doesn't matter. Nice round number, 50 grand. Instead of a $50,000 pool, what if we did the pool, a jacuzzi, the slide, the diving board, and the outdoor change room, and it became $62,000 instead of 50 grand. That would be example of step number 4. Or for you guys as coaches, if you're an hourly rate coach, like you're charging $150 an hour, $250 an hour, look, the reality is you're probably going to, you're either going to burn out or go broke. One or the other is going to happen. You've got to find a way to be a, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month. Okay, and again, you got to find a way to be able to do that. I'm going to talk about some strategies as I move along and how you can do that, but you need to find a way to be a monthly fee. Okay, step number 5, margins. You've got to find, just your clients. I don't need to meet them to know that they haven't as much as looked at their credit card statement, let alone critique their credit card statement in the last 3, 6, 9, in many cases 12 plus months. Okay, you help them do that, you're going to be able to increase their margins very, very quickly, and things can get exciting quick, okay? So here's an example. Or we get a 10% increase in the 5 areas. And let me tell you, folks, if you do nothing more and nothing less than just measure these numbers and bring them to the attention of the small business owner and get their buy-in to understand that these are their baseline numbers, you will get a 10% organically, it's 10% improvement organically by sheer virtue of these numbers are now being measured, okay? So basically, have a look at my example. You go from $62,000, it's obviously a very small company, doing $250,000, making 62 grand. These guys live a little bit above food stamps, okay? A 10% increase in the 5 areas, you nearly double their profits. You bring them to 100 grand, now they're in 6 figures and they're happy. Okay, a 50% increase, and boom, look what happens. This little mom and pop startup, the guy's making 60, the family, the gal, the guy is making 62,500. You fast forward, and this will not happen overnight. This necessarily will happen even in 12 months. This does take some work, a lot of focus, and some serious discipline. But the magic is when you've got such a, very straightforward and focused manner and strategic manner to go about it, it just makes life so much easier for you, but significantly more importantly, your small business owner. And look what happens. With a 50% increase, you go from 62,000 to nearly $500,000. They become the top 5% earners in all of North America if they hit these numbers, okay? So again, pretty exciting. So if I were to have 5 minutes with my bro, 5 minutes with you, 5 minutes with a small business owner, and they were to critique me on, hey, I've got this business and how do I take it to another level, I would go through this absolutely and positively. And by the way, guys, talk about this a little bit later, but 80% of a sale is optically stimulated. So again, when I'm sitting with a business owner, I would want to pull something like this out and put it in front of them the same way that I'm putting it in front of you to get their total buy-in. So words are one thing, but when they can see something with their eyes, what do they say? A picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay, and that's absolutely true in a sales environment. So make sure you've got different tools like this to sit in front of business owners to be able to say, look, we're really going to be able to help you at a very tangible level. Okay, so again, I built 3 7-figure coaching companies from a standing start. when I talk about it, when I teach it, when I think about it, I really break it down into 3 different areas, okay? Step number 1 is lead generation. Step number 2 is conversion. And step number 3 are the results for the client, okay? Because it's one thing to get these guys. It's a whole other thing to keep them for many months and ultimately years to come. And I'll go back to my example of never running out of money in retirement. So let's say if I were to be your business coach, like if you were to hire me as your business coach, and I don't do business coaching one-to-one anymore, it's just not the phase of life that I'm in, but I would not charge you $1 less than $5 grand. Okay, so that's just the way it would be. I'd be like $5 grand a month, plus there would be a contingency on the back end, and you'd have to give me a piece of everything that, we improved moving forward, right? So do that math. So $5 grand, if you could get 3 clients at $5,000, that's $15 grand a month. But how long can I earn that money? And think of the Warren Buffett example. The rest of my life, I'd never have to worry about running out of money in retirement because I've always got income. People think about retiring and wealth and, buying houses and building up equity and then selling them one day. Well, what happens if you live to be 120? Right, you got some problems, right? You might, have a lot of months and years at the end of that paycheck or that end of that sale of that house. So what you want to be thinking is income. So if I could take on 3 clients and then 5 clients, obviously the numbers just continue to go up to 25 grand plus per month. But let's not so much realistic, but let's scale down the numbers to be a little bit more conservative. So let's say you charge $2,000 a month. If I can help you find 5 clients on planet Earth to pay you $2,000 a month for you to coach them, that's 10 grand a month, 120 grand a year for how long? The rest of your life. Or when I say the rest of your life, until the bearings go, right? Once the bearings go, frankly, we become our kids' problems, and that's that, right? And then it's up to them. And by the way, at that stage, well, it just is what it is, right? But as long as you're fully functioning, person on planet Earth, you're going to want to be deriving an income and helping people, by the way, and contributing and growing. And as a business coach, and at $1,000 a month, again, bring in 5 people, that's $5 grand, $60,000 a year of income until the end of time, right? Until they throw us in the ground. So, and not to be morbid, but what's really important here is I want you to be thinking about that, because if you line up 100 people over the age of 40, their number 1 fear on average will be becoming a paraplegic. Number 2 fear is running out of money in retirement. Okay, and I wouldn't want that for you guys. So basically, with that being said, I think what we're talking about here today and what we're going over has some serious implications for, frankly, the rest of your life. And again, some people will start and they'll become a business coach and they won't have the results that they're looking for straight away. Like they won't come out of the blocks going, oh my gosh, I'm, making big money and, doing big numbers. In fact, I had one of our coaches was actually on the call earlier, and I opened up the line and just chatted to him. Didn't even know he was going to be there. But this guy's actually done over $100,000. It was $120,000 of new coaching clients in the last 60 days. And by the way, he's reasonably new to this. He's been doing it, a lot less than about 4 months, less than 6 months, let's say 4 months, and he's just brought those clients on. What I'm getting at is that once you work out the formula, and some of us it's going to take a little bit longer than others, it just is what it is, but don't look at it as a 30, 60, 90, 120-day undertaking that if I can't meet these bill requirements and, these income requirements, then I'm throwing in the towel. And that's fine if that's the way you want to look at it, but I wouldn't encourage you to do that, because if you look at it from a 10, 20, 30-year perspective, who gives a rat's backside about the first 3 or 4 months and how much money you made? What I would care about is, are you able to put together a system that you can follow strategically, predictably, well into the future, and make sure that you've got, again, those 5 clients at $2 grand a month, and then you're laughing into retirement. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about these. So step number 1 is lead generation. So you say to me, okay, Karl, like I built a $5.5 million coaching company. We used to do $400,000 a month in new small business coaching clients. We now do the same thing, by the way, but what we do is we take on coaches, and we have over 500 coaches in 24 countries that work one-on-one with us and use our online tools, our online business coaching platforms and whatnot, which I'll show you a little bit as we're going through, but we've got 500 coaches around the world. So we still do the same thing. We drive tons of traffic, and we bring on business owners, but we just, a specific niche now is pretty much all business coaches, and we also have some accountants and business brokers, okay? So step number 1, you say, okay, Karl, I'm in, this is awesome. Help me find the prospects that I can sit in front of because I'm a really good coach, but I stink at the marketing and promoting myself, okay? Step number one is you've got to go to your ideal client. And I'm well cognizant of the fact that you could open any textbook and any business program around the world, and within the first couple of chapters, there's going to be a chapter that says target market. Well cognizant, well, that's what we're here talking about. So let's just delve down a little bit deeper on what that would look like. Number one is a high unit of sale. If you have a client who's a massage therapist and she charges $100 for a massage and you charge $1,000 a month for your coaching, she has to do 10 massages, or he has to do 10 massages before he breaks even on just your coaching, and that's every month, okay? And if you're 2,000, it's 20, okay? That's a challenge. If you've got a client and they say do roofing and they charge $20,000 for a roof, and then there's $8,000 of profit there, well, you have to help them get 2 deals done over the course of 12 months to cover your fees, plus, because it depends. If you're 12 grand, 2 deals is 16 grand. And if you're 24 grand and you have 2 grand a month, by the way, you have to help them get 3 deals done to break even, okay? 3 deals done in 12 months. You get them 6 deals and you double their money, and then on it goes from there. So a high unit of sale is pretty important when you're looking at taking on a coaching client. The right psychology. The reason things like this, like webinars, seminars, focus groups, and live events work well is the person who's going to take the time to get up, get dressed, jump in the car, and come to the event, or something like this, book off a couple hours on their calendar. They're already in the right mindset to, you know what, I need some help, I need some direction, this is the way that I want to be going. Okay, so the right psychology is very important. The way you can further break that down is have a look at your local material and have a look at what business owners are advertising. If somebody's advertising, they've told you something clear as day, and that's that they're looking to grow their business and they're willing to spend money on it. If they're advertising, this is a good coaching client, that's the kind of person that I want to get in front of. Membership groups. If they've joined BNI, they've joined the chamber. If you don't know what BNI is, it's like a networking group. Nobody joins BNI. What they do is they try to grow their business. Okay, so basically what people do in BNI, if you don't know, they go down on, say, like a Monday morning, everybody has breakfast, there's one realtor, one mortgage broker, one construction company, one business coach, one marketing guy, etc. Okay, so one in each category, and you're basically 20 of you, and the idea is that you're talking about business, you're joining a little bit of a community about what is and is not working, and you're also sharing referrals and giving referrals. Okay, they're giving them to you and you're giving them. Everybody's golden. Okay, so that can work very, very well. And again, they paid $500, $1,000, $2,000 for these memberships. They've written a check to show you that they are trying to build their business, and that's the right psychology, what we're looking for, and the type of businesses that are good. This bit's so important. You got to enter the conversation going on inside their head. I cannot begin to tell you the importance of this if you want to, grow your own business and promote your own brand, and also if you want to be able to help these clients so you keep these guys for a number of years. So let me just expand upon, I've been building marketing systems for a long time, and we've got a ton of marketing systems in our program. So we've got 125 different categories of business covered. And as an example, here's a marketing system that we built for a bathroom remodeler. This is for a dentist. This is for somebody doing childcare, like a daycare, a window contractor, home remodeler, home organizer, a roofing, I mentioned a roofer earlier, a roofing contractor, a chiropractor, carpet cleaner, IT troubleshooter, etc. Okay, financial planner, and on it goes. Got 125 of them. Okay, so I charge between $10,000 and $100,000 to build one of those. Let's say just $50,000 is how much I'm going to charge somebody. Let's say that you own a daycare, and then you come to me and say, okay, Karl, here's my 50 grand. I want you to help build my daycare. Or I want you to build the marketing system for my daycare and make everything I'm doing work at a higher level. And I want my marketing to start attracting the people who I want to be dealing with and could, pay my fees and are my target market, my ideal client. Well, the first thing that I would do is I would observe your target market, and I would say, okay, so who is it specifically that you're selling to? and then I want to understand the conversation going on inside their head. So in this instance, it's mom and dad, okay, because a daycare kids are picking out McDonald's and the restaurant that you go to, but they're not picking their own daycare. They're significantly too young, and that's just not a decision that's going to be in the little kids' hands, right? So basically, you're looking for kids or families with kids under the age of 5, okay, because once they go into once they hit 6, they go into grade 1, and then they're on to normal school, right? Again, you're selling to mom and dad. You're selling to as a rule, the areas are going to be non-affluent. Okay, so like you got $1 million homes, and then you got $500,000 homes. There's a significantly better chance your target market's going to be close to the 500, not to the $1 million homes. In the $1 million homes, you'll see teenagers, some grandkids, that kind of thing. You've also got to be within a 20-minute driving radius of them, okay, so for your location, because mom and dad are probably going to work. That's why they're bringing the kids to daycare. It just makes perfect sense. Well, if they're going to work, there's only so far they're willing to drive in order to drop off the kids because, again, they got to get to work, and you can imagine they've got some other things to do. They need to get you there. They can't drive 45 minutes to get the kids to preschool daycare. Not going to happen. Okay, so a few other tits and bits, but at the end of the day, the conversation inside mom and dad's head, and this is again where you got to understand not only like the trials and tribulations, but their deepest fears, especially in this instance. And let me just tell you that it's accountability. They love the new swing set. They love the new program and the fact that it's really clean and that you guys really care and that you've been doing it for 35 years. All those things work in your favor. But at the end of the day, they want to know that you are accountable and they're leaving your children there or their own child there. They want to know that they need to be comfortable with that. So imagine this. You owned a daycare. I owned a daycare. We're 15 minutes down the road from one another. Your daycare has a web watch where the parents could log on the internet, watch the kids, make sure they're safe, having fun, just missing the kids wildly, and they jump on the internet and watch their kids ripping around and playing and painting and doing all the stuff the kids do at daycare. Imagine you had that at your daycare and then I didn't. Where do you think the kids are going? Where do you think mom and dad are going to decide to go? Regardless of price, within reason, of course, but regardless of price, where do you think they're going to take them? And the answer is to the place with the web watch without question. In fact, I could give you another example. I've got a client sold his daycares for $10 million, right? The average daycare does not sell for 5 cents. They just shut the lights off when they get sick of, changing other kids' diapers. And my client sells for $10 million. Basically, it was an accelerated learning center, called it Little Harvard, and the kids that would go to this particular daycare would expect to go into grade 1 with the grade 3 reading, writing, and arithmetic ability. Again, imagine being the daycare next door to these guys. It's all of a sudden just put them in a submission hold, turn them into a pretzel. These guys are going down. Your marketing is going to work at a significantly higher level. So what I'm getting at here, guys, is when you're looking to help your clients, when you're looking to help your own business, be your own business coach for your own company first, and then and then helping these small business owners, Facebook Live and Google AdWords and Snapchat and Instagram and this, that, and the other, and social media. Look, all this stuff is great. But where you need to start is to get inside the mind of the person who's ultimately going to buy from them and say, what are their trials, tribulations, greatest fears, and deepest desires? Understand that, and you will understand how to make marketing work at 100 times the speed. Okay? So let me move on for that. So that's ideal client, and again, a slightly different way of looking at it. The second thing, when you're talking about leads, you've got to have a killer upfront offer, okay, and so do your clients. So as an example, I got started as a business coach. I used to say, hey, my name's Karl. I'm a business coach. I help businesses go to another level. And I'd cheer, you know what I mean? Like I had pom-poms in my hand. Well, I'm in a room of 20 people. I now feel like I have leprosy. Right? I can't get eye contact. I can't get a look from anybody in the room, including the person who invited me, right? Because they all know what I'm about to sell them, okay? So I was doing this for a long time, and I was like, you know what? And once in a while, I'd get a client through sheer charisma and hard work. But the bottom line is my strategy was not working. That much was official. So I changed up my elevator pitch, and I started to say, hi, my name's Karl Bryan. I do 45-minute turnarounds. I guarantee to find any small business owner $10,000 in 45 minutes without spending $1 on marketing or advertising. bang. The only problem you have now is if you have to take a pee, okay, you're not going to be able to get to the washroom, okay, because if there's 50 people in the room, at least 25 of them want to speak to you. Okay, so that's an example. So my question is, what is your upfront offer? And then when you're coaching a small business owner, what is their upfront offer? Chances are it's not going to be really impressive. Another example of what you could have is like downloadable material on the website. So like, let's go back to the daycare. Do you think if they had a report that said the 10 things your daycare may not tell you, that might not be a bad idea? Okay, well, and what they do is they squeeze, they lead them to an opt-in page, which is a squeeze page where you're squeezing out their email address. They put in the email address, and now they get this report, which is the 10 things your daycare may not tell you. What if my wife calls in instead of goes to the website? Well, now they can email it to her. What if she drops in to say hello instead of phoning in or going to the website? Well, now they've got 20 copies below the desk that they can whip out and then hand to her. 10 things your daycare may not tell you. And I can tell you, a parent that has read this report all of a sudden has newfound intel on what it is that she's looking for, and things that she needs to be concerned about with dropping off her kids, like the number of supervisors per child and the age of the the swing set and that sort of stuff. Because don't think for a second these swing sets aren't known to have all of a sudden the bolt goes flying, or the bolt comes out, the kid goes flying, and we got a broken arm or what have you, right? So you basically, that's an example of an upfront offer that can be very, very powerful, and without price being the major issue, swing the clients in your favor, so that all of a sudden your marketing is happening at a significantly higher level than it is from the competition due to conversion. Here's some even better news. If you end up working with us, and we'll chat about this a little bit later, but we have got a lot of this stuff already written. Like, for instance, that report, the 10 things your daycare may not tell you, we've already got it written. Okay, so let's say you've got a client, they're a daycare, you go to them and you say, you know what we need on this website is we need a downloadable report that they can get off the website, you can email, and that you can pull from under the desk and hand to them. It'll be about 25 pages, and I think a great name for it is the 10 things your daycare may not tell you. Can you do some research, and can you create this? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances of your coaching client being able to do a decent job and get this done? I think we can all agree. In fact, I can categorically guarantee, if you're not sure, that there's just next to no chance of your client ever getting it done. Okay, and if they do get it done, it's going to be a mess, and you're going to have to recreate it a lot of the time. Well, what if you already had it, and now you go to the business owner and say, look, this isn't the kind of thing I want you working on. I want you working on the kids and the curriculum, and basically giving mom and dad a call to make to chat about their child and that sort of stuff. Let me undertake the report. Basically, it costs us $4,000 to get this done. They don't know that you already have it. You charge them $4,000. You say, look, it'll be done in 45 days. You take the report that we've already created, and you basically adjust it. Okay, and when I say 45 days, you could do it in a night, but you don't want to just give it to them in the night, because then they won't perceive the same amount of value. Okay, so basically, if you charge $1,000 a month for coaching, and then you charge $4,000 to write that report, you just made an extra 4 months of coaching income, without any time for money. Well, you got to spend a couple hours to rewrite this thing, or not so much to rewrite it, but you should customize it just to stay in integrity, because again, they're paying for it as a specific to them. So just go through and make some adjustments and whatnot. That's completely up to you. But at the end of the day, you're getting $4,000 for product instead of being all service. Instead of being all time for money, now you've got some ways to be able to sell some product to your clients. And instead of having a $12,000 client, you would have a $16,000 client if you didn't sell them anything else over the course of the 12 months. Okay, pretty powerful. So basically, upfront offer. Again, you need to have something bulletproof that they can't say no to. The really, like the 45-minute turnaround as an example there is absolutely bulletproof, and try create something like that with and for your clients and with and for yourself. You'll be dangerous from a lead generation point of view. Another thing you want to have is partnerships and joint ventures. Okay, there's a number of different ways to look at this, but you've got to, once again, you got to enter the conversation going on inside the prospect's head. So in this instance, let's say you're a business coach and you want to get to business owners. Well, An accountant would be an example of a perfect joint venture for you. The problem is the accountant is difficult to get on the phone or get in front of, and then when you do get them on the phone or get in front of them, they can be very challenging to get a decision from. I don't know what it is. It is something, the analytical nature of the average accountant, but I can just tell you these will be your experiences, certainly been mine. I've got over 100 of them that are clients of ours using my online tools. So basically, I can speak on behalf of this very, very intelligently, that this is their biggest challenge. You sit down with an accountant, his challenge is this, is that once a year, 3 months after the year is over, all of his small business owners come in, they hand them all their books, right? And the bookwork is a mess because they haven't kept it up. They got a, shoebox metaphorically of receipts and whatnot, hand it to the accountant. They want everything done yesterday. They want to pay minimal tax and, a bunch of other demands. And, again, and notwithstanding the fact that it's all going to be done ASAP because the government's come calling. Well, it drives the accountant nuts, and it creates an environment where they're so busy for 3 months of the year that they go stir crazy, literally can't get home to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner with their kids. What if you did this? Understanding that's his biggest pain in the butt, sit down with the accountant, him or her, and say, well, look, here's what we'll do. This is what I'd like to do for you and how we could work together. Send me 3 clients. What I will personally do is I will make sure they come to see you at least twice a year, if not 4 times a year during the year, so you can upkeep their books and keep their accounting all up to snuff, notwithstanding you can get a little bit more, I don't know if creative is the right word, but a little bit creative with their accounting so that they're paying minimal tax, being very intelligent with their spending, and notwithstanding, together we're going to be able to help them grow their business to an incredible level, because there's some things, there's like playing soccer and not looking up at the scoreboard. When they're not looking at their financials, they're missing some very basic business principles that they need to understand about what they're up to. So here's what's going to happen, Mr. Accountant. When your client comes to see you once a year, you charge X. Let's say it's $3,000 a year. Well, when they come to see you 2-4 times a year, you can double, potentially quadruple, plus those numbers, because now they're spending so much time with you. But the good news is they're not going to be wasting this money, because you're going to be saving them so much extra tax, and we're going to be helping them in so many different areas. They're going to become so much more profitable. They're not going to be confusing being busy with being successful anymore, because they're going to be understanding what the profitability and whatnot is in their business. So here's what happens. You charge $2,000 a month for your coaching. That money, you get it and you keep it. The accountant charges X amount for his services, $3,000 a year, $6,000 a year, 10, 25, 50. Again, it depends on the numbers and whatnot, and the amount of work done, but it can be $50,000, plus. But let's just say it's $10,000 a year for his high-end clients and the guys that see him a lot. Well, you just tripled his fees. He is happy with that. What most business coaches do is they go to the accountant and say, look, I'll pay you 20% of everything your clients spend with me when they spend it with me, for as long as they spend it with me, and when they stop spending the money with me, I'm going to stop sending you the 20% per month, right? Well, the accountant doesn't respond to that. And then business coach after business coach tell me they're frustrated because the accountant never makes a decision, always haphazardly will agree to what they say, but then never send out the emails, never send the clients, and nothing ever comes to fruition, and it feels like a big fat waste of time. Well, adjust your approach to what I just described, and it's not send me 30 clients, it's not send me 10 clients, look, send me 3, send me 1. Send me 1 client and let me prove myself over the next 3 months. Again, and do that with 3. And by the way, do the same approach with the guys who sell advertising and the guys at the networking group as well. Again, it's about entering the conversation going on inside the ideal prospect, your prospect's head, okay? You'll see here, need to provide a test drive. When you're trying to get a partnership done, and this comes back to my online business academy, frankly, or a membership site, which if you don't use ours, you should build one. Get something up and running for yourself. If you look after small business owners or any coaching for that matter, you should have a membership site. And one of the ways it works incredibly well is that when you sit with the accountant, metaphorically, the chamber, the business broker, the advertising guys, etc., when you sit down with them, you want to be able to say, look, you don't know me from Adam. We don't have a long-standing relationship. I need you to trust me. I need to trust you. Let's build this relationship properly and slowly. let me give you access to my online business academy. My partners and I spent over $2 million building this thing, taking us 8 years to get it to this point, because you and I would be partnering, right? Our company and your company would be partnering. So you say we instead of I, and you're 100% in integrity. Taken 8 years to build this thing. We've got a lot of the top coaches in the world are using this system, and they are. So give them access. That test drive can go an enormous long way in getting that deal done for them. Because remember, I remember when I was coaching, everybody would say, oh, this time for money, time for money, time for money. What a pain in the butt. And I remember thinking to myself, I bloody wish, right? Time for money, please give me some of that. What I was finding is I was spending all my money or my time with time for credibility in order to get the opportunity to sell my time for money. So I was talking to people, trying to convince them to sit with me and do a 2-hour assessment. I was sitting with accountants trying to convince them to send a few people my way. I was sitting with the advertising mediums trying to show them that I was for real and that I wasn't going to, grab their clients' money and run off. I was going to provide an insane amount of value to these folks, and if they sent them my way, it would be an incredibly rewarding relationship both ways. But I spent all my time doing that. It used to drive me nuts. So it's not just time for money, it's time for credibility, and this test drive can go an enormously long way in assisting you in doing that. And again, I'm going to show you what this membership site, this online business academy and these online tools look like very shortly. But at the end of the day, if you can do that, it'd be very, very positive. If I were to give you, again, just another metaphor, if I had a car for sale for 20 grand and I didn't let you take it for a test drive, what are the chances of you buying it from me? And obviously, incredibly slim, okay? So it's the same thing with trying to get that joint venture relationship done, okay? So now I'm going to move on to conversions. And my beautiful friend from Atlanta sees Mr. Brady up there. But at the end of the day, I like to talk about how long did Tom Brady throw a football for free before he got paid? Again, I meet a lot of coaches who are looking to absolutely knock it out of the park. 30, 60, 90 days, 120 days is the maximum amount of time that they can afford without, earning substantial income to keep this thing going. And I understand that, and I get that. Not, we've had clients in 30 days sign up 5 clients and do unbelievable numbers. I mentioned Christian earlier, who was on a call with us just earlier. In fact, he might even be on this one, but anyway, he likes to. He's really addicted to coaching right now, and he's trying to learn at every stop that he possibly can. But at the end of the day, he's got well over $100,000 of coaching clients within 60 days. Not in the first 60 days of starting. Let's say that he's at 120 days, like 4 months, but he's well and truly out of the gates, and he's fine. But I would encourage you to accept that you've got to put in the hard yards early on in order to get that beautiful picture of having that very comfortable environment where you'd never have to worry about running out of money in retirement. Honest to God, from my heart, financially we do well, and I've had some home runs over the years, but really, if you could take it all away tomorrow, and I don't have a shimmer of concern that I wouldn't be able to just ride off into the sunset and earn a good living for the rest of my life due to the fact that I built up this skill set, and I just know how to get A, the attention of business owners, and B, get them to agree to the coaching relationship. End of story. Okay? So with that being said, let's just talk a little bit about conversions. Talked a little bit about this earlier, but a money-back guarantee will always work well. A puppy dog close. Instead of closing on the first call, close on the third. Have you ever heard of a guy named Evan Pagan, a very popular internet marketer and one I respected a great deal? He talks about moving the free line. So if you've ever seen a launch online, and no doubt most of you have, from like a Dan Kennedy, a Frank Kern, Evan Pagan, Mike Filsame, you name it, any of these guys doing proper launches on the internet, Jeff Walker, the amount of value that they will give you in the free material leading up to the sale, frankly, is incredible. Like, you almost get the best parts of the program for free just by watching their launch. The idea here is that you move the free line, like you give so much away for free that when it comes time to ask for a few bucks, subconsciously they're thinking, holy smokes, if we did this for free, she did this for free, imagine what it's going to look like when I start to pay. Okay? So basically moving the free line. Next up, scarcity. Okay, so at the end of the day, guys, look, you've got 15, 20 coaching spots is the maximum that you have. Okay, end of story. So most coaches I have found struggle with this a little bit. When you sit with somebody, though, you've got to be able to play the takeaway game, and you've got to explain to them, look, I've only got X, let's say 10 spots open, 7 of those are gone. I need you to say yes on this very quickly for 2 reasons. One, otherwise the spots are going to be gone and you're not going to have a coaching spot with me because I only take on 10 clients because I like to watch my kids grow up. 2, if you're not able to make this decision quickly, I have a hard time believing that you're going to make other decisions quickly, and I want to work with a mover and a shaker and somebody who's going to want to work with me for years, not just months. So if you can't make a decision on this, you won't make a decision on other things, so I'm just going to move on. People want what they can't have. Don't be shy. And I know really you can either sell or you can coach, and if you can sell, you can't coach, and if you can coach, you can't sell. Right? That's a sweeping generalization. I can almost hear Barbara laughing at that, but I'm telling you, it's not far wrong. So understand that scarcity will, you've just got to find a way to ethically and comfortably put that in front of people. But believe me, it will increase your conversions without question. Okay, and my experiences are that coaches with a good coach really struggles with that. Okay. Next, I've got scaled pricing. Okay, this is a beauty. For those of you who are on the line and you're a great coach and you stink at sales and promoting yourself, I want you to listen to this strategy. Okay, let's say that I'm a coach, and when I started as a coach, to this day, I'm probably known as a pretty good sales guy now, just because, frankly, I think I know my stuff in my space really well, but I don't see myself as some seasoned sales guy. When I started, that wasn't the case, okay? So let's say it's me and I'm out there, and ultimately I want my coaching to be $2,000 a month. But the problem is I suck at sales. Well, what do? Instead of, I can't close you at $2,000 a month, so I go back to, okay, let's go to $1,000 a month. But I know that I'm better than these other jerk-offs, charging significantly more. But at the end of the day, I just suck at sales, and I got to get the deals done, and I got to feed the kids. So I bring my pricing back to $1,500, $1,000. I meet coaches all the time that are charging fees like $500 a month, which frankly is just not enough, right? If you really do the numbers, you're going to struggle to survive long-term at those numbers, okay? So I want to be $2,000 a month, but I suck at sales. So I go, well, look, I'm just going to have to stick with $1,000. Here's how you get a $2,000 client, but what you do is you scale the pricing. So month 1, you could even lower than 1,000, start at 500. You go 500 month 1, 1,000 month 2, 1,500 month 3, and then 2,000. You can even start at 200 and double it, 200, 400, 800, 1,600, and then 2,000, right? Whatever it takes to get that deal done, but remember, it's lifetime value of a client. So although for 4 months you're not making your full fees, if you keep that client for 3 years, you're going to look like an absolute rock star at $24,000 a year for those clients past the 4-month mark. Okay, so, but the good news is you only needed to do a $250 or a $500 or a $1,000 upfront sale, but you got the $2,000 a month lifetime client. And if you're a good coach, you're going to be able to deliver the value, you'll be laughing. That strategy alone, guys, can be worth its weight in gold. I have personally used that to put, again, I've legitimately sold millions of dollars of coaching, and I have used that time and time again successfully, and I encourage you to do so as well. Extended terms. You stay up tonight past midnight, you're going to watch a what do you call it, infomercial of some description. They're going to sell something, and they're going to say, and it's $100, but you only have to pay 33, 33, and then 33, right? And it's in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they extend their terms. Okay, well, let's go back to the example of the doggy daycare. They're going to buy that report from you for $4,000. Instead of them having to pay you $4,000 up front, which they may have, good chance they don't. If it's a daycare, they don't have lots of money just hanging around. Let them pay it off $1,000 a month for 4 months, okay? Then I can almost hear the conversation in your head, well, but if I do that, Karl, they'll probably pay me once and then not pay me again. And guess what? Some will, and that's a bummer. But guess what? First of all, you got $1,000. Remember, it didn't cost you anything because you already had it. So there's $1,000 straight in the skyrocket. That's pocket, by the way. Okay, so the skyrocket, the pocket. But if you sell it 10 times over the course of the year, 10 reports, that's $40,000. 3 people, don't do the right thing and don't follow through, but the other 7 do. The numbers are going to stack up in your favor to the tune of, tens of thousands of dollars. So extend terms to your clients. Don't be shy. Okay, this last one, also so critical, it is insane. Please, I don't want to speak to your conscious mind. I want to speak to your subconscious mind for a minute. Okay, you need credit card facilities. You need credit card facilities. Coaches tell me time and time again, Karl, yeah, I get it, but they hit me for 2, 3, 4, 5%. And at the end of the year, it adds up. And my goodness, and that, forget it. If you keep one client for one extra month, and say you're $1,000 a month, that's an extra $1,000 that you wouldn't otherwise have got. And you take that $1,000 and put it towards your 3% fees, and it'll probably cover it for the entire year, frankly. Of course, it depends on what your revenues are. But whatever your revenues are, just trust me on this one, there's not a chance, and you know where, that the extra fees that you will be able to get, like, for instance, the $4,000 paid $1,000 a month for the report and whatnot, that you won't multiply the return times 10, if not 1,000. So just not going to belabor this one, but I'm telling you, get credit card facilities, trying to collect checks, picking up checks, sending a PayPal invoice, and hoping that they click the button and then pay you again this month is asinine. It's crazy. Stop it. Just get a credit card facility. And if you can't, if you got bad credit or something like that, but nowadays with Square and PayPal, you should be able to get this done no problem. But if you can't, look, get your wife to do it, get your kids to do it, get a friend to do it. Get credit card facilities until you can get your own, credit card facilities. It's absolutely critical, and I can't begin to tell you how passionate I am about that. Next up here on conversions, profit sharing. Okay, so let's say that, if you take me on as a coaching client, there's a fair argument to say that you're going to do an enormous amount of work up front to get the whole thing started, right? Okay, so, and by the way, guys, I'm just going to warn you, I'm going to go a little bit over here. I've got tons, I get a lot more, but the good news is I promise you I got a lot more hard-hitting stuff coming your way. I've already got a couple notes here going, Karl, I'm going to have to leave early. So just so you guys know, if you want to get together with me one-to-one, you go to coachingclientsnow.com. Okay, we got a very limited offer that's going to be coming your way, which is going to involve me spending $5,000 to get you guys started getting coaching clients. You'll have to be approved and accepted, by the way, but if you are, right for our program, I'm going to spend the $5,000 to get you guys started on behalf of Barbara. This is Barbara and I's kind of deal to go to her followers and whatnot. So basically, I'm paying $5,000 to get you guys started, but I'm only going to do it for 10 folks. So if you want to get together, coachingclientsnow.com. At the end, I'm going to pull that up on the screen, but coachingclientsnow.com. Okay, so with that being said, profit sharing. So there's an enormous amount of work necessary at the very beginning of the relationship for you to get started. So let's say that, let's put just a round price tag of $10,000, and then you're going to be $1,000 a month each month moving forward, right? It could be 2, it could be 5, it really doesn't matter. But there's going to be a $10,000 get-in fee and then $1,000 a month, and many programs are exactly like this. But instead of you paying the $10,000 up front, or them paying you the $10,000 up front, do it this way. So let's say that their revenues last year are very low. They're just $100,000 for real simple math. Well, they pay you $5,000 once they hit $150,000, and then they pay you the other $5,000 once they hit $200,000 and double their revenues. Okay, so you're willing to forego the $10,000 up front, but they pay you on performance and on results, which, by the way, is not a traditional profit sharing arrangement, but it's very similar. And I got to tell you guys, conversions will go up when you do this. So you heard me right. You start charging $10,000 up front to take on a coaching client, your conversions will go up, not down, when you put it at the front end. But what you do is you load it and you create an environment where it's only paid on income and results as opposed to straight off of their credit cards. Okay, so you get an extra $10,000 over the course of 12 months, 2 years of working with them. But the good news is they got some massive increases in their profits. The other one, a contingency deal. Again, if you end up working with us, we'll give you all the paperwork to do this, but how would you like to work with a client? I showed you earlier, they were making $62,500 when we sat down with them, very low, and then they ended up doing just under $500,000 when we got those 50% increases. Well, again, that can be like a $60,000 to $70,000 client for you. Okay, well, How would you, if you have a contingency deal in place where you're making roughly 10% of profits above and beyond where they're at when you guys sit down? But again, guys, here's the incredibly good news. Your conversions will go up when you put these deals in place. Okay, yes, you're charging them significantly more, and your conversions are going up. And why? The psychology of the person you're sitting with is now, holy smokes, this gal, she really backs herself. I mean, she is willing to get paid on my performance, my results, money in my bank account. Are you kidding me? Sign me up. Let's rock and roll. And at the end of the day, you do your coaching fees, and you will be significantly better off. Okay? Another thing, 80% of a sale is optically stimulated. I mentioned this when we pulled the spreadsheet up earlier. At the end of the day, or think of my the marketing systems that I pulled up for the roofer and the dentist and that sort of thing. Okay, well, imagine sitting with a business owner and then putting that up in front of them. Remember, their biggest concern, what they want to do is be certain that the results are going to be there as a result of your relationship. That's what they're looking for within themselves. That's why a money-back guarantee works so well. Okay, and frankly, the profit share and contingency deals I just mentioned a minute ago. So if you put, like, let's say you've got a $50,000 marketing system for a daycare. You sit down with a daycare, you charge your fees, let's say they're $2,000 a month. Well, you're giving them a $48,000 discount on day one to get started because you've already got the marketing system ready to go, and you're just looking for one person in one suburb to deploy it, and you won't sell it to any other person in that suburb moving forward. Do you see how that's all of a sudden an offer that they struggle to not say yes to? And for those of you that aren't business coaches, you're more life coaches. Here's the really good news. You sell the business, and we all know you coach the individual because 90% of your job is getting me and our clients out of our own way. Okay, so again, you end up a life coach anyways. If you go to a Tony Robbins event, 80% of the people in the room are business owners. You go to Susie Orman and she's talking, finances and financial planning. 80% of the audience puts up their hand when she says, "Are you a business owner?" You go to Robert Kiyosaki and he's talking real estate. 80% of the audience puts up their hand, "Do you own a business?" So the business owners are the folks that respond to this kind of stuff that will buy and pay for coaching. Okay. Next on my hit list, drip campaign. So drip campaign, I've got one LinkedIn advertising campaign, so an online advertising campaign has done over $1 million of recurring revenue for us, okay? And basically 63% of the sales came through the drip campaign. So think about that. If I would have been the one and done guy where I reached out, they opted in, they either bought or they didn't, and they didn't buy and I didn't follow up, I would have lost 63% of $1 million advertising campaign. So think about that. And the reason behind that, if you look at your high dollar coaching clients, you're going to see that there is an event that led to them making the decision to either come to your event or reach out to you or respond to you or to say yes to you. An example would be like the birth of a child. An example would be a trade show coming up and they're pooping their pants. An example would be a trade show that just happened and they're bitterly disappointed. An example would be the loss of a salesperson. Another example would be the taking on of a salesperson. Another example would be the loss of a staff member and they took a bunch of clients. Okay? So basically people draw a line in the sand and say, no more, that's it, I'm ready to go. So it's like event-based marketing. On that day, you want your email to magically pop up, and you've got a ridiculously good chance of getting a reply, ultimately getting a conversation, and basically plugging these guys in, okay? And also it will significantly help with buyer's remorse when you have all these tools in place, especially the Online Business Academy, frankly. But all those tools will go a very long way in assisting you with keeping these clients, again, for ultimately years and not just months. Okay, so that's step number 2. I could go on and on, frankly, with conversions because, again, we got some very clever and, outside of the norm, outside the box thinking kind of ways to convert. But if we get together one-to-one, you can grill me a little bit and I'll be happy to go through some of that stuff. Okay, so let me move on to step number 3. So we covered 1 leads, we covered 2 conversions. Now we're on to step number 3, results for your clients and results for you. Here's the thing. If your client's been in business for longer than 12 months, you're going to find that their number one form of lead generation that got them going, they're no longer doing. And I'm talking about the one that worked. It's strange. It's weird. Frankly, I can't quite explain it, but I can tell you, you will find the same thing that I have found, and that's with about 85% probability. The number one form of lead generation that they were doing to get going, they're no longer doing. This is the good news. All you need to do is reinvigorate that, either for yourself, if you're sitting there going, holy smokes, he's right, get that going for yourself, or in the instance that it's your small business owner, get it going for them, and bang, they're going to have some new leads, new clients coming in. Okay, video instruction prior to call. Mistake that I see a lot of coaches make is they spend all their time educating, and basically doing like half an hour, 1 hour seminars one-to-one with their clients. Huge mistake, okay? And again, conveniently, I've got 200 hours of step-by-step instructional video online that you guys could leverage, but the nuts and bolts of it, if you want to, like before you get together with them, if you want to save yourself an enormous amount of time, and let's say that this week is goal setting, this week is time management, this week is staff recruitment, staff training, staff development, send me to the 20-minute, 30-minute video, bring me to the call, and now the call is all about deployment and action and what's going to happen, okay, as opposed to you explaining goal setting, time management, and the other stuff to me. Okay, and now all of a sudden your 1 hour call is about deployment and action, or, you know, and if you understand coaching, you've been doing it for a while, you know that fear is the number one reason why anybody doesn't do anything. It's amazing, but we're all little kids inside. That's just the way it is. So we're very fearful of attempting to put ourselves out there with social media. We're very fearful of getting up in front of the audience. We're very fearful of promoting the webinar that we think we might not be able to drive enough people to. We're very fearful of the advertising campaign on Facebook, because what if we screw it up? We're very fearful of, and then you just fill in the blanks. So half of your job as a coach is to recognize that fear, get them to understand the fear, you understand the fear, and then get it the heck out of the way so they can move on and start accomplishing their goals, realizing their dreams, and creating a legacy that they can pass on to their kids. Okay? So that video instruction prior to call can be very, very important. Also, Online Business Academy membership site. If you don't have one, you need to have one, because you're going to meet people all the time that either A, can't afford you, or B, don't want to pay your high dollar fees. Well, you need to have a downsell that you can put them into. And let's say, like my membership site, I charge $100 a month. I've got guys that use my exact, because we white label it, we put your picture, name, and brand on it. They charge up to $400 a month. I personally charge $100 a month because I'm just a busy guy and I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of follow-up with my clients. But at the end of the day, regardless of price, what you're going to find, roughly 27% of your low-end members at $100 a month are going to buy into your more expensive program. Okay, and just so you guys can feel comfortable, I put hundreds of members into my own personal membership sites. If you guys have been in coaching for a long time, you might have heard of my my program. It's about 10 years old. I've done about 10 iterations of it since then, but it was how I earned $187,000 in my first 9 months online as a coach. Okay, and then I followed up to that, and that was, and people would buy into that, and it was a membership site. And then the follow-up to that was another membership site I created, and it was how I generated 250 hot new coaching leads in 90 days using Google. Okay, I built a database of over 10,000 clients, or 10,000 coaching prospects, and then we had hundreds of members on the memberships as a result of that. And the membership site I'm about to show you, I've also got them there. So what does that mean? First of all, I have a lot of experience putting people into membership sites online at $100 a month and legitimately creating the passive income. But more exciting than that is that the 27% that reach out, ask questions, ask for an exclamation or an explanation, ask like something, reach out to me, you get them on the phone, you basically walk them through a sales process, and you can sell them into your $10, $20, $30, $50,000 programs, depending upon what you've got. So again, a reason why, guys, you need to get a membership site, you need to get an online coaching academy together, because it'll provide unbelievable number of high-end clients in the future. Profit margins, touched on this one a little bit, but let's say that you've got a client and their profit last year was $100,000, real simple, okay? And think of step number 5 on my 5 steps. Step number 5 is going to be 20%, okay? So 20% margins, which equaled $100,000 of profit. Okay, when you sit down with them, you go through their credit card statements with a fine tooth and comb, which again, they haven't done in years or months or a long time. I almost guarantee it. You go through this stuff and find them a 10% increase. So you go from 20 to 30% with their margins. And I just tell you, without going into it, guys, that's so easy to do. It's scary. You do, in some cases, have to get a little bit creative. If you do get creative, you can get significantly higher than 10% increase. But let's be conservative here. You take that client from 100 grand from 20 to 30% margins, okay, so you increase them by that 10%. My very poor math skills made me think, okay, cool. They made 100 grand last year, and now they're making 110. Let's continue to build the business, and let me get my fees paid for and then some. Well, that's not what happened. When you take somebody from a 20 to a 30% increase, that's a 50% increase, not a 10% increase. Okay, a 10% increase would be from 20 to 22, and then a 20% would be from 20 to 24, and on it goes. So it's really a 50% increase. Well, if they were making 100 grand a minute ago, they're now making $150,000 over the course of the coming 12 months. Okay, you charge 24 grand, 2 grand a month, 24 grand. You've already paid your way with a tiny company that's only made 100 grand last year. Okay, so again, or again, and then scale the numbers up and then down. Okay, but that can be profit margins going in and getting a hold of their credit card statements can be incredibly profitable for you. There's a story out there, and this is Phil Knight. I mean, this is 100% true. Phil Knight's out there, and he talks about it all the time. But Steve Jobs and him got together. Steve Jobs says to him something to the effect, "Hey, Phil, you got a great company there, Nike." He goes, "Oh, wow, Steve, thank you so much." He goes, "You know, you guys got a lot of great products, but you got a lot of crap too. Stop making the crap and just make the good stuff, and you'll have a great company or an outstanding company," right? And Phil kind of shakes his head, and he probably felt a little bit, disrespected, walked out of there. But then guess what? He went to the showroom, and he looked at the wall, and he saw roughly 100 pairs of shoes, and he's like, you know what? He's right. They went from 80 shoes to 20 shoes. They went from, 100 shirts to 20 shirts, and basically only promoted the high-end stuff. And guess what happened? This is when Nike took a major turn towards becoming the lifestyle brand they are today and multi-billion-dollar company. So what does that mean? For you, have a look at your 80-20 rules. You, me, we're no different than Phil Knight, Steve Jobs, and the rest of them. Have a look at the 20% of the stuff that you do over the course of the day, the week, the month, and stop doing the 80 that's a waste of time. And by the way, your product offerings, depending upon how big your coaching is and whatnot, how much stuff you're promoting, just promote those things that are really working. And also for your clients, get in there. They're probably doing a whole bunch of crap, a bunch of line extensions. They, decrease the price so much on some of this stuff that it's an absolute bloody waste of time. They're literally losing money to sell it. Cut that stuff out, and it could be very, very easy for you to make some, very big inroads and very big wins with your coaching clients, okay? And by the way, guys, I'm well cognizant of the fact I'm going very, very quickly, and I'm throwing a lot at you. I'll tell you, I'm taking a 5-day course and throwing it into, the better part of an hour and a half here. So again, it's but follow this stuff, guys. And if you want to get together one-to-one, again, there's going to be an opportunity to do that. But, feel comfortable. Everything I'm going over here, guys, is not platitudes. It's not textbook stuff. It's not something that I heard from the expert one time in a similar presentation. This stuff has been tried, true, and will absolutely work for you, your coaching clients, and your business, okay? Next on my hit list, pre-built marketing. When you have got, the equivalent of the web watch or the accelerated learning center in your back pocket for the daycare, the results that you can get for these people are incredible. And understand that the number one thing your coaching clients are looking for, whether you do career coaching, life coaching, business coaching, doesn't matter, they're looking for certainty. When I take you on as my relationship coach, I just want to know that I'm going to get into the right relationship. That's what I want to know. The more certain that you are, the more certain that I'm going to be, and that's going to be good for both of us. When you've already got the $50,000 marketing system and the Holy Grail in your back pocket, and you already know that it's proven, tried, tested, and already have the marketing material, imagine how much easier that's going to make it for you to take on these clients and help them at a significantly high level, okay? So with that being said, let me show you my site here very quickly. And by the way, guys, you're going to see that it's going to follow, remember this methodology, okay, the 5 steps. So keep that in mind as I go here to show you through. Let me X this stuff. All right, so here is profit before you pay. Look at that handsome devil there. Okay? A nose only a mother could love, sideways on my face from too much few hockey scrimmages. But anyways, so this is my online business coaching site, and again, spent over $2 million in 8 years building this sucker with my incredible business partner, Adrian Osh, whom if you end up working with us, you will meet very shortly. Okay, so this is my online business academy. I go here. Oh, whoops, hang on a sec. I'm going to have to log out because I haven't opened it in a bit. Bang. So this is the front end I showed you here with my pretty face. And then this is the back end where if you were paying me or if I granted you free access, maybe I just met you, I like you, maybe you're young, maybe you're old, maybe you went bankrupt recently and I don't want to charge you, I could also give you access to this for free, which again, and frankly, as a coach, my brother could have never afforded me at $2,000, $5,000 a month, would have never happened. So at $100 a month, he's the type of guy that would have went in and read everything, watched every video, downloaded everything, and he would have gone and executed, right? An absolute A-type personality on steroids, which is half of what got him into trouble. So with that being said, there's going to be people along the way that you're going to want to be able to help, but you're not going to be able to, okay? So this is what your system looks like when they're either paying, not paying, but this is your membership area. The first thing it does, it says, welcome Karl. So it'll individualize. Like if this is Billy Bob, it's going to say welcome Billy Bob. If it's Sam, it's going to say Sam. The first thing that they will do is they will be driven to a diagnostic where they're basically going to build a roadmap for themselves where the diagnostic goes through those 5 steps: leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, and then profits. Press analyze. The system starts to think, and now dependent upon their answers, the entire system adjusts accordingly. Okay, if they go back in and then readjust their answers, this will totally change, okay? And as a rule, you're going to find a lot of people are going to be driven to lead generation very quickly, okay, more leads. Frankly, this is why most businesses fail, because they spend all their time, money, and resources here. But at the end of the day, it's if you don't have leads, you don't have a business, and it's game over, right? Okay, so here we're in lead generation. I mentioned all the different turnkey marketing that we have. Like, check it out. We've got turnkey marketing in 120 different categories of business. Right? Again, and then if I were to give you an example, I showed you the a little bit of the daycare earlier. Let me show you the cosmetic surgeon. Okay. Here's a guy. In fact, I can give you a live example of a guy who we worked with. Spent $60,000 with us. Okay, and basically, where is he here? Okay, so here's basically the website. He was spending $7,000 a month on Google AdWords, and he's driving traffic to a website that looked like this. Okay, and by the way, first mistake, it's a website. Meet our doctors, plastic surgery procedure, virtual consultation. He's expecting people to get stripped down naked, bra and panties without even meeting the man, right, and jump on a video Skype call. Not the best idea, boss. But anyways, what's significantly more important than that, the conversation going on inside his ideal client's head. What he's got here is nurture the body that will provoke true envy, right? Well, we went here, scrolled through very quickly. What's the best marketing message for this guy? Keeping in mind, this guy does mummy makeovers for a living, right? He's not selling to 21-year-old beauty queens who that woman looked like a minute ago. He's selling to, 30 to 45-year-old women, right? 30 to 50-year-old women. So my wife happens to be, she's post 40 and basically right here in this bracket where she's done having kids. Do you think my wife is saying to herself, I want to nurture this body to provoke true envy? And I'll give you the tip. Those words aren't coming out of her mouth. But do you think she might be saying, I'd like to get the body back I had before I had kids? Okay? And the answer is probably an obvious one. Well, guess what? We adjusted his headline to just that, turned it into a squeeze page, basically tripled the click-through rate, doubled the profitability of the campaign like that, and then we went on and did some other cool stuff. Okay, but here's the good news. I didn't need to come up with anything. I didn't need to create anything. It was literally sitting right back here in my marketing turnkey, and again, we charged them $60,000 over the first year working with them, right? So how would you like to have that? The web watch is another example. I could go on and on. So we've got this turnkey marketing already created. And again, there's 200 hours of step-by-step instructional video back here, everything from goal setting to time management to staff recruitment, staff training, staff development, leadership, cutting costs, you name it. Basically, we have a video back here to support it. Okay? So basically that, and if we get together one-to-one again, I can give you access to this and you can poke your nose around and have a bit of a look. But basically that is there for you. Now, and the reason, so we have over 500 coaches in 24 countries, like I said earlier, working one-to-one with us. Our ideal clients are somebody who is a really good coach, and then they stink at the sales and marketing, okay, because we can help your sales and marketing at a very high level. The coaching on the back end, we want to know if we're going to bring somebody good to you and you're going to, bring on this coaching client, we want to know that you're going to keep them for a long time to come. Very important to us. So with that being said, you're in Coach's Marketing Center now. This is membership, website, training resources. This is what we've created for you as the coach. Okay, so I showed you what we built for the cosmetic surgeon. This is what we built for your coaching company, okay, to help you generate leads. Be here all day if I went through everything, but let me give you a few examples. So let's say joint ventures, right? If you agree, like I said, the reason I'm here, Barbara sent an email to you, you clicked the button, and here we are today. Okay, joint ventures work at an insanely high level. I've done hundreds of them. They've put countless dollars and cents through and in my bank account, and they'll do the exact same thing for you if you're willing to persist and get good at it. So you say to me, hey, Karl, wow, I got the chamber down the road. I'm a member. I want to go and see them. Well, you go to joint ventures, you click chamber program, you scroll down, you say, Karl, I hear you've done this very successfully. What would you send the chamber? I won't send you tips, tricks, and how-to videos, which a lot of folks like to do. I just give you word for word exactly what I've sent the chamber, and you just put your name on the bottom and go. And in an ideal scenario, you adjust it to suit, but fundamentally, it's done. You email me 10 minutes later. Holy smokes, Karl, they went for it. Time to rock and roll. I need something to get the chamber. They want to send this out on Monday, and it's Friday afternoon. Can you help? Once again, word for word, you put your name on the bottom of this, exactly what I've had the chamber send out successfully. And by the way, I've got the same thing for the chamber. I've got the same thing for the advertising mediums, same thing for business brokers, networking organizations, and advertising mediums like radios, magazines, newspapers, coupon books, Valpak, online directories, etc. Okay, so we've got all of that already built. Put your name on the bottom, ideally adjust it to suit, and then go. Site owner presentations. I've done over 500 presentations personally. Doesn't mean I'm any good at it. I know that I'm speaking 100 miles an hour and probably more ums and ahs that I should have. But at the end of the day, guys, you want to know what I would say if I sat down with an accountant and his 40 business owners. We don't send you tips, tricks, how-to videos. How about I just give you word for word exactly what I say to his audience? I tell you where I pause for 5 seconds for a little bit of extra impact. I'll show you where I press click, okay, on my PowerPoint slide, and then I give you 104 PowerPoint slides pre-populated, ready to go. Once again, you adjust it as you see fit, but basically don't touch it. Just say these words, and your conversions are going to be incredible, okay? That's done and ready to go. Some people show up to the webinar and some people don't. So here's what I send out: 8 days, 6 days, 4 days, 2 days, and the day before, right? Again, put your name on the bottom, adjust it if you see fit, and you're ready to rock and roll. Tons more stuff like that I could show you. Trifold brochure. The old school accountant says, look, just leave me something that I can touch and feel and take home to my wife or my business partner or my manager. There it is. Press release. You want to let everybody know what's going on in town. There's your press release. Fill in the yellow boxes, etc. Cold call scripts of all shapes and sizes. So the nuts and bolts of it. Wouldn't have time to go through it all today, but feel comfortable from a lead generation standpoint, marketing your services point of view. We're going to be able to help you at a significantly, at a very high level and incredibly competently. Now, and again, we got over 500 folks in 24 countries doing this right now. So the good news is you don't just work with us. We don't just get our direction. You get to work with 500 other coaches out there doing the exact same thing, having some of the challenges, some of the same headaches, some very different headaches that you can help them with and then they can help you with. And it's ultimately, guys, what we've built as a community here. And I know that's what Barbara is a big fan of, because she told me that. But again, the community itself is insanely powerful. Okay? So there you go, guys. Coaches Marketing Center. We also have profit acceleration software. No time to go through this, but just have faith that when you just basically, it's going to help you get in front of business owners at an insanely high level. And then you want to do a 45-minute turnaround where you're going to find them 10 grand in 45 minutes without spending $1 on marketing or advertising. Profit acceleration software is going to be able to really monetize that meeting, so they're going to be able to see a tangible value for your services and what you're going to do for them. And then ultimately, it's going to compare itself to your coaching fees. So if you found them, say, $67,000, and then you charge $2,000 a month, you're going to put those numbers in the software. The numbers extrapolate, and it's going to help the business owner make the buying decision. Do you want to trade 24 grand for 67? The good news is we're not going to show you how to find 67. We're not going to find you how to find 10 grand. We're going to show you how to find $100,000 plus, plus, plus for these business owners, and you'll be blown away at how easy it is to do. And, you know, quite frankly, it works at an insanely high level. But now you need to follow through. So you go, okay, Karl, great. I got the clients. Now I got to help these guys. It also helps you with a step-by-step roadmap and associates a value with each of the different undertakings that you're going to do with the business owner, so you guys can both see what you should be undertaking. Like as an example, referrals are always going to be weighted higher than a lot of the other stuff because we know referrals don't cost anything and your clients are already there and happy. Why wouldn't you put in a formalized referral program? Do incredible things for your results very, very quickly. Okay. So, anyways, profit acceleration software is there. So I could go on, but let me come back to here. And again, so you guys say to me, okay, Karl, look, I get it. I got it. I got your 3 steps, and very interested in, you know, how you could go about helping me and building my coaching company. And it's time for me to take the next step. How would you help me do that? So very quickly, let me walk you through what we provide. As a business coach, as somebody going to small business owners, it's absolutely critical that you have a downsell, that you have a membership site of some description to be able to help, A, your high dollar coaching clients, so that you don't have to do the time for money thing and spend all your time explaining everything. But then secondly, and very importantly, for the 50 to 70% of the people that you sit with who can't afford your high dollar fees, you've got to have a downsell where you can now take their credit card or take their information, put it into your membership site, and be able to recur, you know, $100 to $200 a month per month for that individual while they build up their business, as they grow their skills, start making more money until they can afford you. Okay, so what we do is we spend $2 million building this website, 8 years. We are going to take that and put your name, your picture, your brand on the top of it. You will never know that it is ours. We've got 36 different designs. You pick the one that you want, and we make it look like it's yours. Okay, when we get you started, I'm about to talk about all the stuff that we do, but we provide you a one-to-one coach. We put you through some unbelievable training, spend an enormous amount of time with you getting started, because again, we're in this for the long game. We want you too to be clients for, I mentioned folks that I've had for 8 years on a month-to-month agreement, and we're talking about some very high-level individuals that many of you probably would have heard of. They work with us. Well, we don't want to lose you, so we spend the money up front to get you started. And with this offer, and what we're doing with Barbara here, is we're going to cover the $5,000 to get you going. Okay, but of course, we can't spend $5,000 on everybody. No doubt that goes without saying. So again, it's only limited and only available for the first 10 coaches. So you need to act pretty quickly. Okay, so here's what we provide. And once again, if you want to get on the horn and you want to book with us really quickly, go to coachingclientsnow.com. And as I look at my emails on the other screen, I can already see a bunch flowing through. So again, you'll need to be accepted. We don't just take anybody. There's particular individuals that, you know, types of individuals that we're looking for this. And but let's get together one-to-one and let's see if that's going to be you. But we're going to cover the $5,000 for the first 10. So we're going to provide world-class training where we're going to give personal support. We don't just give you the training and then leave you to your own devices and put on pom-poms. We provide you personal support afterwards. So you're going to get a one-to-one full-time support coach. In fact, you get 2 of them. One is to orientate you through the program, because frankly, it can be fairly complex. So we provide you a one-to-one coach. And then secondly, we provide you a lead generation and conversion coach to help you get the clients, okay? Then we put you into 2-day world-class coaches training where we're going to show you word for word, step-by-step, chronological order, exactly how I close $12,000 to $50,000 coaching client. And then as a result of doing that lead generation and chasing those clients, you're going to find a lot of people either can't be convinced to pay those types of fees or they can't afford those types of fees. Well, you're going to be able to take the ones that can't and put them in as passive members on the back end. I'm also going to show you how to create a contingency agreement with all of your business owners. Okay, so you can then take them, you know, from my example of $62,000 to $500,000, how would you like to get, you know, 10% override on everything they do above and beyond the $62,000 and make a sweet little contingency fee, and all of a sudden you got a $60,000 client instead of just 12 to 24, okay? So basically, and the goal, and again, if you would have heard this morning, but one of our guys would have jumped on and he just literally said this, but he did over, I think it was 127,000. I can't remember the number. I could easily get it to you guys. You'd be welcome to speak to him. But the nuts and bolts of it, he's done over $100,000 in 60 days. Our undertaking, our goal, where we want to get you to, is to do $100,000 in the next 8 months, just total transparency. Can't guarantee that. Some of you are going to be willing to work harder. Some of you got more charisma than others. There's a lot of variables to go into it. None of this stuff is get-rich-quick stuff, but I can tell you if you follow the roadmap, you follow our you know, the way that we do it, and you show people how to do these 45-minute turnarounds, and you find them 10 grand in 45 minutes without spending a dollar on marketing or advertising, I can tell you at the end of that, people just say, so can you help me do that? Okay, and they basically close the coaching deal for you. Okay, and with that, next up, we've also got weekly Ask the Expert calls where you get direct access to us. Because what happens a lot of the time, you're looking for new ways to generate leads to get coaching clients. We have our experiences and what has worked and doesn't work for us, but how would you like to have not necessarily 500 folks rolling up to the call, but we always get, you know, we get 100 plus coaches on these calls who are out there doing this stuff, strategizing, experimenting like yourself. How much easier is that going to make it for you? And again, you're looking for different ways to produce new online members, or you're looking for fast ways to get results for a coaching client. Like let's say you're working with a realtor and struggling with how you're going to go about helping these folks. Well, not only are you asking us, and in most cases we've got a lot of experience where we can just say, hey, here's what we did with the client and just help you straight out. But a lot of the time we'll be reaching out to hundreds of other coaches on that call. So it's like a big mastermind session, and it can be incredibly powerful. Frankly, that Ask the Expert call has a little bit of a cult following. Okay, so hundreds of coaches there to be able to help you. That's our Ask the Expert call, our group coaching. Other folks like our Facebook community, you become a client, you meet all of our clients immediately online. Again, if we're doing a terrible job, this would probably be business suicide, right? So you could imagine we're very comfortable in our own skin where we're willing to introduce you to everybody we work with online and on Facebook. So basically you've got that. And frankly, some people like to go to the weekly Ask the Expert call and ask their questions, and some people like to come here and ask the questions. So you've got that option, okay? Weekly group coach. So group coaching is something that you guys should undertake for very obvious reasons. One of the challenges from my experience and what coaches tell me is that getting it started is a pain in the butt. You only got 2, 3, 4 people there. You do Q&A, nobody's got a question. It doesn't go very well. It takes a while to get going. So what we do is we get it going for you, okay? And then once you get 5, 8, 10 people into it, all we do is change one phone number from our phone number to yours, and now you've got your own group coaching going, okay? And group coaching on average is about $500 a month. So you get 20 folks in there paying you $500 a month. That can be incredibly profitable. That's 10 grand a month, 120 grand a year, okay? So basically, we help you do that. And if you never want to change the phone number and you always want us to do it, that's okay. We run 24/7, Christmas, New Year's, the lot. It's always going. And by the way, we always have it at the same time. I believe it's 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., no matter what time zone they're in, right? Because again, you don't want to invite them to group coaching at 2 a.m., right? It'd be very lame, and presumably you'll have clients all over the world. We've got, you know, clients in 24 countries. So depending upon where they are, their time zone will dictate what time the group coaching's on, okay? You also get our advertising library. I showed you a couple of them. We've got 125 of them. Again, the full turnkeys, vary between $50,000 and $125,000. 95% completed. You just go in and change the name, the phone number, the email address. Basically, they're ready to go. That being said, I think a lot of the time you should change them a little bit more than that, just for your own personal, sanity, and just making sure that you're legitimately customizing something for your individual and the person you really care a lot about. But it's completely up to you, unnecessary, but it's just something that I would encourage you to do. But for the most part, they're 95% completed. You make some adjustments, and they're ready to rock and roll. Imagine sitting with somebody with a $50,000 marketing campaign. You charge $2,000 a month. Again, you're able to present it in such a manner that they get $48,000 discount on month one. This is how you go about getting $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 coaching clients instead of $500, $800, and doing an hourly fee. Okay? And again, here are some of the industries that we have. And just to remind you, there's bathroom, there's a dentist, there's a home remodeler, home organizer, a roofing company, and on it goes. Okay? So to reiterate, this is what you got. You get your own $2 million online membership site, or online business academy, as a lot of our folks talk or present it as. We pay the $5,000 fee for the first 10 coaches. And again, as I go to my emails, I can see them flowing through. So guys, you're going to want to be quick here. Okay, so you get your own one-to-one support coach. You get 2 days of world-class online coaches training, your own one-to-one lead generation coach. So again, you get one orientation coach, and then you get a lead generation coach. Different person, different skill set. So again, just we're not happy with you doing our training, and especially the fact that we're paying for you to do our training and then not have accountability, follow-up, and some direction afterwards. So we provide you that one-to-one coach, and we pay for it. Weekly Ask the Expert calls. Again, you want to come on and ask any questions about generating leads, generating members online, or helping an existing client. Everybody's there for you. The exclusive Facebook coaching community for just our coaches, weekly group coaching webinars, and a complete marketing campaign library where we have 125 different categories of business already done. Okay? And by the way, what would a webinar be without some bonus offers? Okay, so for those first 10 and the first 10 folks that we bring into the program, I've got these 3 offers for you. So you see this as seen on NBC, CBS, Fox, ABC. I'm going to secure that logo for you for the first 10. We've been cited, I think it's 300 odd times on those stations with our system, so we're well and truly, we can put this on your website with no problems, and I will secure that, but again, I can only do it for the first 10 folks. After that, you can get it, you just have to pay for it. I'm going to write a book for you. Again, the day that I became an author was the day that people started chasing me instead of me having to chase them. And by the way, we're going to do it in the first 30 days. If I had $1 for every coach that I met who told me they're writing a book, they're almost done, it's going to be coming, and then it never does, I'd have a lot of dollars in my bank account. Okay, so we do it for you because it's absolutely critical that you get your book out there. Don't worry about selling. If you sell it, that's great. I got coaches who sold hundreds of them. That's fantastic. Pat on the back for them. That's not what it's for. It's like you walk on stage holding your book. You walk into the accountant's office and it drops out of your briefcase. You're speaking to your friends, your brother-in-law, what have you. You've got your own book. Suddenly, they'll start taking you so much more seriously, you have no idea. Frankly, it's almost a slight on society on how easily it works, but I'm telling you, don't fight it, just profit from it and make sure we get it done. Some of you have already got a book and it's no big deal. We don't need to do this for you, but if you want us to, bang, it's going to be there. We do it all for you. We look after everything. It's going to be your own book. You can go sell it as you see fit. And now we've got our own 2-day world-class online coaches training, okay? We used to charge a significant fee for this, but as I told you, my elevator pitch, hi, my name's Karl. I do 45-minute turnarounds. I guarantee to find any small business owner $10,000 in 45 minutes without spending $1 on marketing or advertising. Truth of the fact is, as I said earlier, I'm going to find you more than $100,000, and I'm going to do it quicker than 45 minutes. Okay? There's basically 8 simple strategies that we're going to show you that you can undertake with any business owner in any industry, anywhere in the world, and in less than 45 minutes, you're going to be able to find that money. But more importantly, you're going to be able to get them those results. And we will be able to, because the way you find the $100,000 is the same way you deploy over the coming 12 months when you're working with these guys and you're earning your fees. And we're also going to show you exactly how to position the contingency. So like I said, you'll start earning more. Your agreements are going to be worth 3 to 5 times as much as they otherwise were. And they're going to be thrilled at the fact, and your conversions are going to go up versus the opposite. But once again, it needs to be done properly, okay? I will provide you all the agreements and whatnot. And again, those 8 strategies, if they put, let's just say hypothetically, you've got a client and they really should put about $500,000 of additional revenue in your business owner's pockets. Well, if that becomes $250,000 that you're now sharing, and you've got a 20% of that profit, that's $50,000 plus your retainer. So let's say that you're $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year. This is a $62,000 client rather than just a $12,000 client. And again, they converted at a higher level. So basically, there's your bonus offers. We're going to write the book for you. We're going to create it, like my book, How to Double Your Profits in 7 months or less. Fast, proven, easy to implement strategies to outperform, outmaneuver, and outprofit your competition immediately. Okay, so you're going to come up with your killer title. That's mine. We'll help you, of course, and we'll give you a guide on what you come up with. But basically, you get all of those bonuses, including the 2-day training program that we normally charge a significant fee for, where again, we're going to show you how to find more than $100,000 for any business in less than 45 minutes. Okay, so I can see the questions coming through thick and fast. I can also see a number of emails. Okay, guys, so if you guys want to get together, this is where you go. coachingclientsnow.com. You want to get together one-to-one. You want to grill me on a few things. You want to ask about this. You want to ask about this. Just go to coachingclientsnow.com. Okay. So the nuts and bolts of it is that, guys, we're going to build you an online business academy. We're going to provide you a one-to-one coach. We're going to write you guys a book that you're going to be incredibly impressed by the way, not to mention your wife and your kids, right, and your accountant. They're going to be like, holy smokes, man, you've been working pretty darn hard. That's awesome. But go to coachingclientsnow.com, plug in your information, and we will get you started. If you have a question, I want you to plug it into the box here. Okay, I got a couple asking for recording. So let me just go through. So I got a bunch of questions. If you got any questions, again, just go hit the chat box, and I'll address them here. Of course, a couple of people asking for recordings, and we do have that, so no worries. Karl, is this a franchise? Okay, excellent question. Guys, no, definitely not. In fact, I tongue-in-cheek call it and refer to it as an anti-franchise, okay? Idea being that there is no long-term agreement. There is no royalties. There is no, there's basically when you work with us, it's a month-to-month agreement. And if you want to slide out of it, you give us 30 days notice and you're out. It's all good. So the answer is it a franchise? Absolutely not. Frankly, it's the opposite. And again, we literally tongue-in-cheek refer to it as an anti-franchise, so no problem. So all good there. Upfront fee. Again, there is an upfront fee, and it's $5,000, as I mentioned earlier, but we are going to cover that for you, okay? So the $5,000, and guys, just so you know, my sister is walking in the room, and I haven't seen her in a year. Hello, beautiful. How are you? So it basically is the upfront fee. So the upfront fee is $5,000, okay? So we cover that, and then we'll chat. There is a few $100s that you do need to cover. We'll go through that. There's some different levels, and we'll present them when we get together one-to-one. But fundamentally speaking, guys, you find me somebody else in the coaching industry that's willing to spend $5,000 to get you started and basically has that much faith in their own program. And I'll just save you some time, guys. You'll be looking for a very, very long time, and it'll be difficult to find. So again, we really back ourselves, and we provide all the coaching and the direction to get you up and going, okay? So that's the answer to that. Hopefully that answers your question. I am in England. Yes, so we actually have an English version of this, okay? So with pounds and a British accent, okay? So again, you're good. So no problems on that front. But once again, just go to coachingclientsnow.com. We'll get together. And as you'll see the times, we understand the time changes, so it's all good. We'll accommodate that easily. And by the way, guys, you'll see that there are two calendars there, 1 and 2. Okay. So grab a grab a time on either. Number 1 is getting a little bit full. Just go to number 2, no problems, and slide in there, okay? I'm in Australia, same deal. If you're in Australia, no worries. We can look. I used to live in Australia for 15 years, and not a problem. Margaret Poole, where can I get the recording? Okay, so we'll send out information around that. We'll coordinate that with Barbara. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just looking through tons of questions. I'm in. Karl, that was great, which I appreciate the kudos, folks. That's for darn sure. Anybody else have any questions? Doesn't look like it. Hopefully I've covered them all. Okay, so look guys, that's the nuts and bolts of her. Basically, you want to get together, coachingclientsnow.com. Jump in there and let's get together. Look forward to it. And of course, the beautiful, 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 amazing legend they call Barbara Wainwright. I want to extend my appreciation and gratitude to her for organizing everybody to get here. But again, if you guys don't have any more questions, we can move on. Hang on a second. Looks like Richard Hughes. Richard Hughes, you got a question? Is that a... Oh, yeah. Richard Hughes, you there, bud?
I am. How are you?
Hey, man, sorry. Fabulous. Did you have a question? Is that... I'm struggling to see what your... I can't see your question, but I got a question mark beside you.
No, I don't have any questions. Very, very good. I think you've explained everything extremely well.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, boss. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I'll put you back on mute. Hang on, I've got another one like that. Margaret, hang on. So I have a Margaret Poole. Are you there?
Yes.
Hey, Margaret. Sorry, do you have a question? I've got a question mark beside your name, but I don't see a question in the box.
But you actually answered it. You because I was wondering about the recording, and you said you'll coordinate that with Barbara.
Beautiful. Okay. Cool, banana. And how do we do? Did you enjoy it?
Oh my gosh! I'm just now. I just got my certification like 2 weeks ago, so everything is so new. But I'm just absorbing this like a sponge.
Is that right? Well, that's what I want to hear. Good stuff, good stuff. So make sure you get to coachingclientsnow.com. We'll get together one-to-one with you, and we will. If you think that was good, wait till we show you some of our tricks behind the scenes, okay?
Thank you.
No worries. Put you back on mute. And let me have a look here. Okay, Linda, same thing with Linda Price. Are you there?
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
Hi, Linda. How are you, buddy?
Very well, thank you.
So same thing. Do you have a question? I got a whole bunch of question marks here, but I can't see the questions popping up. So do you got a question for me?
Well, the only question I had was that I'm very interested in this. I've been a coach for a long time, and it's usually in business, but it has to do with team building and overcoming issues. So this is a different type of coaching that I'm really interested in, and I've got an appointment tomorrow to talk to you, so or to one of your people. So I'm interested in looking at this and pursuing it.
You beauty. Okay, awesome. Well, that's exciting, exciting. Let me put you back on mute there. Anybody else? Oh, possibly Chris. Chris might have a question. Hang on, let me open up. Oh, whoops. No, Chris disappeared, so he's gone. Okay, well, look, folks, maybe Tracy Brown, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Tracy. Sorry, do you have a question for me? We got a question mark, but I can't find your question on here.
Yeah, I have no questions, but thank you. Thank you for all of your insightfulness.
No worries. Did that help? Did I teach you something?
It helped. Yes, extremely. Thank you so much, Karl.
Oh, that's cool. No worries, Tracy. Let me put you back on mute. Okay, look, there we go, folks. I think we're good. And look, again, so nuts and bolts. So all the other, again, a bunch of other comments and whatnot, some folks sending kudos my way, which I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate. Love doing this, and just love helping coaches. There's no doubt about it, guys. It's an amazing undertaking. And for those that are just kind of, getting started and that sort of stuff, I would really encourage you, just put in the hard yards, guys, and find a way to, to get over the line. Because I got to tell you that it's an exciting undertaking. It's an amazing career, and the lifestyle that you can create for yourself is just absolutely incredible. But none of this stuff is get rich quick, and none of this stuff is magic pill solutions. And unfortunately, and from my experiences, and I know that Barbara agrees with me on this one, it gets, a little bit frustrating when some folks come into our world and they just, it's, oh, you can do this and you can do that, and you're going to make $1 zillion in the first 12 months and all that sort of stuff. And look, that's just not the way on average it's going to go down. You can make some incredible money and do it very, very quickly, and that's great. But on average, that's probably not the way it's going to happen. It's going to be the first 6 months you're going to be learning, and you're going to get some coaching clients. You're going to lose some coaching clients. You're going to learn an amazing amount. You're going to understand more about yourself and more about the types of clients you want to take on, and then how to influence them. And the stuff that I talk about, fear is the number one thing that's going to stop them from taking action. So again, there's no point telling them that, the daycare to become the web watch or the daycare to become the accelerated learning center if you're not going to understand that fear is what's going to stop them. So help them get up their own way before you say, okay, it's time to become an accelerated learning center, because they're pooping their pants because they feel like they need to have a Harvard degree, or they're kind of, overstating their professionalism or their own knowledge or their own expertise, right? Well, these kids are 3, 4, 5 years old, okay? Trust me, teaching kids how to add 2 plus 2 is not the hardest thing in the world, right? Like, you're going to be fine. But it's well and good for us to laugh and kind of say that it's easy, but it's not if you're them, okay? The same way that you guys as coaches, new coaches, it can be scary getting out there, putting yourself out there as an expert and that sort of stuff. So we well and truly understand that. From my heart, what I encourage you to do is just find a way to push through and get this career going and follow through. So that is that from the bottom of my heart, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. I hope to speak to you guys one-to-one. And if we don't end up speaking to you, I wish you incredible amount of success. And actually, you know what? Just before we go, I think my lovely Barbara is here too. I'm just going to say goodbye to Barbara here, folks. Oh, I think she's self-muted. Maybe he's going to let me unmute her. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Thanks,
Barbara.
Karl. I am so impressed, number one, with all the content that you just shared with everyone, and I'm sure that they are as well. And I love the hand-holding that occurs going through your system. I love the thoroughness of the content. I mean, there's really nothing that I don't appreciate, because I know the effort that it takes to create content like you have. I know the expense that goes into creating content like you've created. And I know the effort and the love and the passion that you have for what you're doing. It shines through in your presentation. And, I love your honesty and the integrity with which you talked about people. This is not a get rich quick, but you know what? You work and you will be rewarded, and that's the bottom line. So I'm just very appreciative, Karl, for your presentation, and I want to thank everybody that showed up to further their education, because this was very educational. So thank you for showing up for yourself, for learning and educating and taking yourself to the next level. Just by attending this webinar, you've done that. So thank you, Karl, and thanks everyone.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, Barbara, thank you so much. I think on that note, we got to sign off because I think that's a great way to end it. So, again, thank you so much for promoting this and backing us. And for those of you that showed up, I double what Barbara just said, but congrats. This is the step, man. It's what you got to do, right? You got to show up.
That's right. That's how it starts. Show up.
What, sorry? I missed that?
I said that's how it all starts, is you got to show up first.
Yep. This is it, my love. This is it. So awesome. Well, look, amazing, Barbara. Again, thank you so much. Amazing having you here. Amazing you having promoted. And we look forward to speaking to all the folks on the webinar. So coachingclientsnow.com. And that's it for us. So